Like I have multiple skills like Power BI, SQL Server, Power Apps, Power Automate, SSIS, SSRS, all these things. Okay, I'm taking the classes on Power BI, SQL Server, and Power Apps related. Okay, right now today's session it is like a Power Data Analytics in Power BI. Okay, so that part we need to discuss. Okay, so some step by step we need to discuss about the data analytics part. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, yeah. See here. Actually, what are the things I need to cover in this workshop means? See here, these are the things like. So first of all, data. Today, what we need to discuss all these things. See here. First, we need to note it down the points. Based on that, we'll start explaining about all these things. Okay. First of all, overview of Power BI. Overview of Power BI and installation process. Okay, and data sources and connections related to that. Data sources and connections. Okay, data transformation. Okay, that's data modeling. Okay, and data visualization. And automate. And also need to discuss about custom visuals and uses also. Okay, and last ninth report creation. And data refresh publishing. Okay, Power BI service. Okay. Last dashboard design. Dashboard design. So these are the things we need to cover today in data analyst part. See here. See what is data analyst. First of all, I will explain you what is data analyst. Okay. So data analyst is nothing but whatever the business data is there, that business data we need to analyze. Analyze means how we can represent our data. That is analysis. Okay. So whatever the business data is there, that business data, if you want to represent in a structural format, then we have to, then at that point of time, we are using data analyst. Okay. So whenever whatever the business data is there, how we can show that particular data in a proper way. they need to analyze that one in which is the best way to represent the data. Okay, see this and data analyst people will do this. Understand? So in the data analyst, Power BI is also one of the part. Okay. In that Power BI, what we can do, we just what we can do. Power BI is nothing but it is a reporting tool. Okay. This reporting tool also, what is the relationship between Power BI visualization and data analyst means whatever the analysis the business users will do. Okay. After analyzing, they want to represent in a pictorial format, right? At that point of time, they are using Power at that point of time they are using Power BI because in Power BI, Power BI is a reporting tool. Reporting tool means whatever the business data is there that we can represent in a pictorial format. That pictorial means in image format. If you want to show that whatever the data we have it, that data. Actually, our data is in table format, it is there. If you want to see the table data means filtering the column values and see it means it's very, very difficult. So if the same thing, if you want to represent in a pictorial format, then everyone will understand in 2 minutes what the report related. So that's the reason this Power BI is used for a data analyst. Okay. In this one, what is Power BI means? Whatever the data we are getting into that one, that data, business data, we can represent in a structural format. That means in a proper format we can represent in the visualization. That means in the pictorial representation we are using. That pictorial we can call it as visualization. Understand clearly or not? So that means, see here, this Power BI, just whatever data we need to connect with the different data sources, and we have to load those data sources data into this Power BI, and we can represent that data in a pictorial format. Okay. In Power BI, one important point is we just need to represent the data in a pictorial format. That means Power BI tool is a read-only purpose. Write access, we cannot do it in Power BI. That means, suppose, for example, you are representing the data. Okay. If you want to do any modifications on that particular data, it is not reflected to the data sources. Suppose, for example, in you are pulling SQL Server table, and that table data you are showing in the visualization. Once you show the data in the visualization, suppose if you try to modify something in the visualization or else in the Power BI side, if you want to do modification, it is not reflected to the data source. Okay, it is whatever modifications you are doing in the Power BI, that it is reflected on Power BI side. Okay, if you do any modification on Power BI, it is up to Power BI only, it will be there. It is not reflected to the data source. Okay, read and write write functionality is not available in Power BI. Only read access. That means if whatever things you have to do it in Power BI, up to Power BI only. Okay, suppose I want to create a new record in that particular one. It is reflected to the data source, that it is not possible in Power BI. First point. Okay, just whatever the business data is there, that we can represent in a pictorial format. For the pictorial format, we have to use different types of visualization. I will tell you. Okay, different types of visualizations we are using, and that by using that, what how you want it, how the business users want to represent their data. So okay, based on that you will create a visualizations. Okay, so this is about Power BI related one. Next one is installation process. Installation process. Okay, and for this, for installing Power BI. Okay, okay. If you want to install Power BI means what type of software you need to install means you have to install Power BI desktop software. What software you need to install? Power BI desktop. And this Power BI desktop is completely free to use it. Okay. Which software you have to install here? Okay. We have to install Power BI desktop. Okay. This is the software. And this software, okay, it is completely free to use it. For your complete lifetime, this Power BI desktop is completely free to use it. Okay. So what you have to, it's for installing for, or if you want to install this particular software means for few of the requirements you require. That means prerequisites for, that means if you want to install Power BI desktop means what are the requirements you wanted. Okay. That means you required, okay, minimum 8 GB RAM. That means in your system, in your laptop or a desktop, minimum 8 GB RAM is required, or you have like a mm, minimum 250 GB, minimum 250 GB SSD. Okay, so that means prerequisites means minimum 8 GB RAM is required or minimum 250 GB SSD. So most of the times, better to take this is the SSDs. Okay, the see in place of RAM, SSDs are very fast because right now all the applications are with high configuration. They are creating all the applications. So that's the reason high configuration related tools are not working in RAMs related. So better to always you have to upgrade your laptop or desktop with SSD. Okay, this is the first requirement. Second requirement is in Windows operating system. In Windows operating system only Power BI. In Windows operating system only Power BI works. This is the second point. These are the two important points are required to install Power BI desktop. Understand clearly now? So if you want to install Power BI desktop means so in your system, in your laptop or desktop, these are the two things are required. Okay, minimum 8 GB RAM is required, or if it is 250 GB minimum. Like if you want, you can take like a 1 GB SSD also, that is fine. But minimum 250 GB is required. And if this Power BI desktop will works only on Windows operating system. Okay, these are the two things. Okay, and this Power BI desktop is introduced by Microsoft. This Power BI desktop is introduced by Microsoft. This is the Microsoft tools. Okay. So they are giving this for developing any report in Power BI desktop. They are giving complete free version. That means you can not only for you, even if you are working with organizations also, they are giving completely free to use this Power BI desktop. Understand? Let's see what are the installation. Let's see the installation process. Okay. So if you want to install the Power BI desktop means, see here, go to the Google. There you have to type like Power BI desktop download. Okay. So once you download, see here, download Microsoft Power BI desktop from official site is there, right? Click on this one. Once you click on this one, see here, this is an option to download this one. Click on this one. Once you click on download, there are two executable, not only for this particular application, for any application. If you want to download and you have to use it, means they are giving only executable files. Okay, those executable files you have to download and install that one in your laptop or desktop. So here there are two executable files. Okay, which executable file you have to download means based on your system. That means in your laptop or a desktop, there is a separate system type is there. Based on the system type, you have to choose that executable file and download that one. Okay, Vijay, how would I know which system type it is? Okay, so when you have this PC, right? Right click on this PC, you will have properties option. See here, click on this properties option. Once you click on the properties option, see here, there is a system type here, it is available. Okay, 64-bit operator. That means that related executable. That means you have to download the 64-bit executable file only. You have to download that. So for this one, which one is 64? Underscore x64 is there, right? This is 64-bit. Okay, you have to download this one. Vijay, what about this one? This is the 32-bit file. Okay, that means if your system type is 32-bit operating system, then you have to download 32-bit. This is the 32-bit. See, this is a 64. Click on download. And you click on download, that particular software is going to download in your local system. Okay, that means from where you want to download that particular software, see here. This executable file is download from where you want to download. Click on save and click on replace, because I already downloaded, so that's the reason the same file it is there. Just I want to replace it with existing. Understand clearly? Once the download part is completed, it's very simple steps to install the same executable file. Understand? Let's see how that particular executable file will be there. Okay, go to the downloads. There you can see like how the executable file will be there. Suppose for example, I downloaded, right? If you downloaded, go to the downloads folder. Not only downloads folder, anywhere, in anywhere you can keep that particular file. But I'm putting in the downloads folder. Okay, see, this is the one. Power BI desktop setup underscore x64. This is the software it is downloaded. So what you have to do, you have to install this particular software. Okay, double click on this one. Okay, when you double click on this particular software, it's very simple steps. See here, what are the things are available. Giri, you understand, right? Mac, it won't work. I told you, right? That's what the requirements. In the requirements, whatever it is there, based on that only we have to use or we are desktop. Okay. See here. When you double click on this particular one, this is the window it will. It is asking like which language it is. Okay. And so you always need to select like, okay, it is automatically selected English language. If you want to select a different language, you can click on this one and select the language. Click on next. You just need to click on next. That's it. No need to do anything. That's And one important point is every month they are going to release a new version. That means every month better to use the latest versions of the Power. Okay. Every month they are going to release every month, monthly basis, this Power BI versions are released. Okay. When if you go with the other related softwares, maybe like 6 months or 1 year, they're going to release a new versions. But in Power BI, every month every month they are going to release a new versions. Every month you have to download the same thing. But actually, previously, initially, okay, without doing all these steps installing, okay, for the first time only you have to, next time onwards, whenever they are going to release in the Microsoft Store, in the Microsoft Store, if you are downloading any Power BI desktop, then automatically whenever they are going to release a new versions, those all are updated. Now that particular Microsoft Store is not working properly. If it is not working properly, this is the process. Every month you have to download the latest version of the Power BI. Understand? So like this, click on next and see here. I accept terms in the license agreement and select this one and click on next. And here, in which path you want to keep this particular file. Don't change anything. Like keep it like that only. Just click on next and click on install. once once this, so all the supported files are going to install in this, in your laptop or a desktop. Once the installation part is done, just the final step is finished. Okay, this Power BI desktop is completely free to use it. So let's see how it will works and everything. Okay, so always you have to use the latest versions of the Power BI only, because if you are using old versions, in new versions, there is sometimes there is a direct option, but if you are using old version, you need to write some logic and you are implementing that one. Okay, the same option directly they are given. So that's the reason, even if they are going to release a new versions also, it's very easy. Okay, okay, when they are going to release the versions means they are giving some videos as well as document also. Okay, you have to refer those videos and document ones, and you can understand very easily what they are going to say. Okay, so always you have to use the latest versions of the Power BI. Don't use old versions. Even in the organization also, depends on your organization standards. Suppose if they are giving like every month you are able to install Power BI, okay, then you can use it. Sometimes the organizations are providing for every 3 months or 6 months. Okay. For every 6 months, they are providing this particular software. So that means need to install that one. At that point of time, there is no other alternative. You every 3 months must and should you have to upgrade your Power BI. Understand? But in Power BI, every month they are going to release. But in the organization standards, like if they are going to really, if they're going to install every month means you can raise a ticket and in the tools based on the what organization standards will be there, you just need to follow that one and you can raise a ticket and install that one. There's system admin will take care to install this Power BI desktop. Okay, so some companies don't want to install every month. Sometimes they are going to install on 3 months, on 3 months or 6 months basis. They are going to install. Okay. Almost installation part is done. Once the installation process is completed, what is the next step we have to do that one? See, this is the next step. Okay. Data sources, how you can, after opening Power BI desktop, how you need to connect with the data sources and how you need to load those data source data into Power BI. That I will explain. Okay. The final option, it will like a finish option, it will comes. Once you click on finish option, automatically for the first time, Power BI will open. See here, this is the finish option. Now click on finish. Once you click on finish, okay, after installing Power BI desktop, immediately automatically Power BI desktop will open. See here, see Power BI desktop. Okay. So once you open, let's see what are the things we need to discuss in this. Okay. See here. So so if you want to see here, these are the things. Okay. So when you open a Power BI desktop, see here, there is an option blank report. Here the things are there. Under the home tab, click on blank report. When you click on blank report, when you click on blank report, this is the Power BI desktop. Okay. This Power BI desktop is a software. That means it is not the online version. Always, this is the software. Software means must and should you have to install that particular software in your desktop or in the laptop. Okay. It is not the online application. Okay. So this Power BI desktop is a software. Software means you have to download and install in your laptop or a desktop. Must and should. Okay. So this is how the Power BI look. Okay. This is how the Power BI look like this. Okay. So that means in this Power BI desktop, what are the things we can do? See here. Okay. So first, see, if you in Power BI desktop is a reporting tool, right? That means if you want to represent your data in a pictorial formation means first you require the data. Okay, you require the data. So how can I get the data into Power BI desktop means you have, there are n number of data sources are available in Power BI desktop. So whichever data, wherever your data is there, those related data sources is available in this Power BI desktop or not, you have to check it. And if your data source is there, and you can simply connect to that particular data source and load the data. Suppose, for example, I want to connect with Excel. So whether Excel data source is available in this Power BI desktop or not, you have to check it. So if for that, what you have to do, if you want to connect with any data sources in this Power BI desktop, there is a get data. See here, this is the get data. In this get data, click on more. Okay. When you click on more, you will see hundreds of data sources here. like Excel workbook and text CSV, JSON, folder, PDF, and SQL Server database, Oracle database, and MySQL database. See here, there are n number of data sources are. See, okay. Any data source, like if you want to, like instead of scroll down and set that particular your data source name, if you want to give one or two characters of name, like see here, I want to connect Excel. See here, EX I am giving. EX related, what are all the data sources are available? Those data sources. Check it here and connect to them. Okay, but our data in these data sources must and should be in a table format. Then only the, because whatever the data we are pulling into Power BI, the table format data only we can pull it into Power BI. Okay, whatever data you have it, those related data must and should be in a table format. Those related things only we can pull it into Power BI. Okay, suppose if I want to connect with Excel, see, click on Excel and see here, and just select the data source and click on connect. Once you click on connect, it is asking, okay, that means Excel workbook always it is connected to your local system Excels. That means in your laptop or desktop, what Excels are there, those only it is connected. It is not connected to the online Excel. Okay. When you are selecting the data source as Excel workbook means it is connecting to your local Excels. Okay. In your local Excels, whatever Excels are there, those only it can connect it. Suppose, for example, I want to load this Excel data. Select this one and just click on open. Once you open that one, see here, under the Excel, when you are connecting with Excel, under the Excel, there are multiple sheets are also there, right? Under the Excel, there are multiple sheets out there. Okay. If which sheets data you want to load it, that you have to select it. Okay. Suppose I want this particular sheet data. Okay. And select that particular sheet. One sheet, we can call it as a data set. What is that? One sheet, we can, one data set. Okay. Suppose, Vijay, can we load multiple sheets here or multiple data sets? Yes. Suppose I want to load these two sheets data. So just to select those tables and click on load. Once you click on load, what will happen? Those related data sets are loaded into Power BI. This is how you can connect with any data source and load the data into Power BI. Because without the data, you cannot represent in a pictorial format, right? So first, when you are opening Power BI desktop, first where your data is there, okay, you have to connect to those particular data sources and load the data into Power BI. Okay, not only Excel, there are different data sources of SQL Server, Oracle, okay, Salesforce, okay, OneDrive, okay, SharePoint, okay. There are n number of data sources out there. Azure data also you can connect. Okay, see here. Suppose for example, if you want to connect the Azure data, see here. Again, go to the get data and see whether your data source is Azure data source is available. Suppose Azure. Okay. See here, Azure related, there are different data sources. Any of the data source data you can do. Okay. But you have to give a proper credentials. Suppose, for example, I want to load SQL Server. Then what will happen? So if you want to connect with SQL Server related data source, select that SQL Server. See here, SQL Server database. This is the SQL Server related data source and click on connect. When you are connecting with SQL Server, okay, when you are connecting with SQL Server, by default, it will ask some details. That means server name and database name. Okay, that means see here, each data source having different behavior. Okay, when you are connecting with Excel, when you are connecting with the Excel, just it is asking the path of the Excel where it is there. Just you need to select that particular one, you load it. But when you are connecting with SQL Server, same related thing is not available here. What it is available here? So for this data source, what is the future? If you want to connect with the particular data source means there are some different permissions will be there. Those if you want, if you are giving those details into that one, then only you are able to connect it. Okay. Suppose if it is, if you want to connect with SQL Server, for SQL Server related details it is asking, must and should you need to give the details. That means when you are connecting with SQL Server, this is an SQL Server, right? When you are connecting with SQL Server, what is the things here? It is like server name, it is there. So with the server name only you are connected with SQL Server, right? Similar here also, you need to give the server name. See here, the same server name you can copy from there and you have to give this one. Okay, like this. Okay. So another one is database. Database also, that means because when you are connecting with SQL Server, under the database, all the objects are there, all the data sets are there. So that's the reason must and should you need to give the server name and database name. Then only you can connect with all the data sets in that particular SQL Server. So what is the database? See means, see when you know SQL Server, then you will understand what is server name and what is database name. Okay. So that you need to give it here. See here, I'm giving the database here. So once you give the server and database name, click on OK. When you click on OK, then it is connected to that particular server under the database. What are all the tables are there? Those tables you can see there. And which table data you want to load it into Power BI, you just need to select those tables and load the data into. Okay, see here how it is. See here, when you are connected with this with SQL Server with server name and database name, under this database, what are all the tables are there? You can see all the table. Which table data you want to load? You have to select those tables. See here, I want to load this table and load this table. When you want to load whichever table you want, you can select those tables, select those things, and just click on load. Then those data sets are. Now you understand the difference between Excel and SQL Server. In Excel, there are different behavior to connect to that particular your data. Okay, that means it is just asking the path, and when you are connected with SQL Server, it is asking some details. That means without, if you are not giving those details, you are not able to connect. Understand? Not only this one, if you connect with Azure having different behavior. That means they are having, it is having like some credentials. Okay. How you are connected? How you are connected with Azure without giving credentials, you are connected to the Azure. No, right? It's each data source having some different behavior. With those details only, you are connected to that particular data source. Right? Same here also you can do like. Okay, even in Azure also, you need to give whatever details it is asking. You need to give the details. After giving the details, it is connected to that particular Azure, and whichever data source data you want to load it, those you have to select those data sets and load it into Power BI. This is how you can connect with the different data source and load the data. Understand clearly? Okay, see here. Once it is loaded, so this is how you, if you want to connect. Suppose, for example, if your data source is not available in this get data, okay, can we load that particular data set data into Power BI? If suppose my data is available in one of the particular data source, okay, that data source, if it is not available in get data, that means if it is not available, that data source is not there in get data, can we load that particular data? No, it is not possible to load that particular data. That means whatever the data sources are available in the get data, those related data only we can connect it and we can load the data into Power BI. Understand clearly? See here. See here. This. Whatever the data sets are loaded, all the data sets are available under data type. See here, if you expand that particular data set, under the data set, what columns are there? Those column names you can see. Understand? But if you want to see this particular data set data in a table format means, see here, in the left side, there is a table view. Okay. In this table view, okay. In this table view, which data set you want to see the table format that you have. Suppose I want to see this table. Select this table and you are selecting this table. Suppose if I'm selecting orders, see here, orders related table data. That means under the columns, what values are there. Everything in table view only we can see. Okay, but in report view, we can see only the data set names and column names. But if you want to see that particular table data means must and should you need to go to the table. Understand clearly? This is how you need to connect with the different data sources and load the data. Once the data sources data is loaded, what is the next step we have to do? See here. So this part is done, right? Okay. Next one is, see, so what we can do is when we are loading the data, suppose for example, we want to modify the data. If you want to do the modification means I didn't understand Vijay. Suppose for example, see here, when you are pulling a data source table into Power BI, in that particular table, suppose there are 10 columns are there or 15 columns are there. But for my report, from that particular table, only 5 columns is enough, not all the 15 columns. Remaining 15 columns, why we are wasting a memory in Power BI? So what you have to do? You have to remove those columns. Okay. Suppose for example, I am pulling the data. After pulling the data, I want to replace one of the value to another value. Okay. Or else I want to split one column into multiple columns. Or else I want to change the data type of a particular column. Okay. Or else based on that particular column, I want to display different column it is. Like all these things. That means on that particular table, whatever data we are pulling, what is required for you. Okay. Because when they're sometimes what will happen, business users are not giving all the columns. Okay. They are not giving all the columns. They are giving only few of the columns. With that columns, you need to generate, okay, by using the existing columns, we need to generate a new columns using in Power BI option. That means using Power BI option, using the existing column, we need to generate few of the columns. Suppose, for example, I will tell you, I have a date column is there. Okay. But what users is asking, Vijay, month wise, I want to see the sales. But month column is not available in the users data. That means whatever users are data is provided in that users data, month name is not available. But I have the date column. Then using that particular date column, we need to generate month name, year, like what you want to represent in the visualization. Okay, whatever data you want to represent in a visualization, those related columns, okay, must and should be there. Sometimes they are providing a column. If sometimes they are not providing those columns, at that point of time, using Power BI option, you need to generate those columns and you have to use it in the visualization. Okay, those related options, that means using the existing columns, if you want to generate the new options, must and should you have to use transformation options. Okay, in transformation options only all the things are generated. Understand? Okay. So when the users are providing all the columns, you can directly use it in the visualization those columns. But most of the time they didn't provide all the columns. That means what they want to see it in the visualization, few of the columns only it is available. Remaining columns they didn't provide. So using Power BI option, you have to generate those columns and you can represent in the visualization. Those columns where we can generate in the transformation. There is a transformation options are there. In there itself, we can generate that. Okay. Let's see what are the transformations. See here. If you want to go to the transformation options means there is an option called. So there is an option called transform data. Okay. So this is an option to suppose whatever the data is there with the data. If you want to generate a new columns or removing the columns in the data set or replacing the values, all these things that we can do it in this transform data. Okay. When you click on transform data, see here, there is a separate window will open. In this separate window, there are different options. Like suppose, for example, okay, suppose for example, if you want to remove the column, that means, see here, I want these two columns, or else I want these. Okay, suppose this column, and this column, and this column. Remaining columns I don't want. Then what you have to do? You have to select those columns first and use this remove columns option. So there are two options, remove columns and remove other columns. So I want these columns. Remaining columns I want to remove. Then you have to use remove other columns. See here, remaining other columns are removed because I'm using in this report, I'm using these four columns. You have to keep these columns, remaining columns. You can remove it because you don't want to waste the memory in Power BI. Okay, so whichever it is required, those only you have to understand clearly or not like this. Even suppose for example, if you want to remove the rows also, suppose you can remove the rows also. Like suppose for example, I want first 10 records only. Remaining rows I don't want. Then in the remove rows, there are different options. See here, remove top rows, remove bottom rows, remove alternative rows. If you want to remove the duplicates, remove blank rows, remove error. These are the steps. There are different options are there for rows related. If you want to remove any option on rows, okay, then you have to use this option. Top, bottom, alternative, duplicate, blank rows, errors, and all these things. Understand? So this is all. Not only this one, see here. Suppose if you want to sort any particular column, that means sort means right, ascending or descending. Okay. Suppose I want to sort this column. Okay. Either ascending order basis or descending. Select the column first and click on this is ascending and this is descending. You want to see the descending? Click on this one. Now see this particular column on the descending order basis, it is ordered. Understand? Like this. Okay. If you want to see here, there is a split column. That means if you want to split a single column into multiple columns, this option is used. Understand? So if you want to split, suppose I want to split this column, then what you have to do, see here, split column. Under the split column, there are different options are there to split a single because while you are splitting, there are different types of varieties of data is there. With the data, you can split it into multiple columns. Suppose my delimiter is, suppose I'm giving like see here, there is a dot is there. Here dot is there. Okay. With the dot, I want to split it into multiple columns. See, Understand or not? This is one column, this is another, like this. Okay. So based on that means if you want to split any particular column, must and should you require a delimiter in that column. Okay. That means if you have a delimiter, then only delimiter means I will tell you. If you have a delimiter, then only we can implement this option, split column option. If there is no delimiter, we cannot implement this one. Okay. Then Vijay, what is a delimiter? That means in your keyboard, except numerics and characters, what values are there? Those we can call it as delimiters. What is that? Except numeric, okay, characters in your keyboard, whatever other are there, those we can call it as delimiter or special character. That means what are there in your keyboard? Comma, dot, space, colon, semicolon, okay, hyphen, brackets, okay, at the rate, hash, dollar. All these are delimiters or special characters. That means if you want to split a single column into multiple columns, means must and should in that column at least one delimiter. With that delimiter only we can split it into multiple. Understand? Suppose, for example, if I want to replace, see here, suppose, for example, I want to replace this value. See here, there is a return is there, right? So in place of this return, I want to replace it to another value. Okay. Then you have to use replace. Select this particular value and click on replace values. Okay. When you click on replace value, return here. When you return here, with what value? What is the value? With what value you are replacing? See here. Suppose I'm giving like this and click on OK. Now what will happen? In place of returned, okay, it is replaced to return. Okay. That means wherever return is there, okay, in for those values, in place of those values, it is replaced to return option. Understand clearly or not? Is that clear or not? Okay. If you want to replace with the existing value, select that one and change and replace that one. Whenever you are replacing, that means wherever that value is there for all those rows, it is replaced with return. See here, previously, here it is there. Suppose what it is there, return is there. I'm replacing wherever return is there in place of that one, return I want to replace it. See here, like this. Understand clearly, you know, like this. Okay. Another one is, say, suppose for example, if you want to combine the rows of the multiple data sets. Okay. What is that? See here. Suppose for example, suppose for example, in this data set, this all data type one columns are need to be added in this whole data. So for that one, we have to use merge queries. Okay, this is an option we have to use if you want to load the another data set columns in, if you want to add another data set columns in this current data set. That means in which data set I'm selecting, in the data set, other data set columns, if you want to add, you have to use merge query. See practically. Suppose if I click on this one. I'm selecting what is a common column and everything. You have to select and click on it. Now see here, all data type one columns, all the columns are available here. Okay, if you want to load all the columns, click on this one. So which columns are required? You have to select those columns and click on OK. Now see here, all the columns are available. Understand clearly? That means if you, whenever other data set columns, if you want to add it in the current data set, then you have to use merge queries. Okay, understand? Next one is append queries. Means if you want to combine the rows of the multiple data set. Suppose I'm having this data set and this data set. These two data set rows I want to combine. Okay. Then what you have to use? You have to use append queries. Click on append queries. See here, it is asking which data set. You have to select the data set. Okay. Now what will happen? All data set rows and all data type one data set rows are combined. See here, it is combined. Understand clearly? Like this. Okay. Not only this one, in different tabs, like if you want to change the column name, see here, there are two ways to change the column. One is select the column, whichever column you want to rename that column, select the column and click on rename. Or else if you double click on that column header, you can change the name. Suppose I'm giving one, two. So like this also we can change the column. Understand? Okay. Suppose if you want to change the data set name, like double click on this. This is the data set, right? Double click on the data set. You can change the data set name. Okay. Like this, you can change it. Suppose, for example, if you want to convert these values, that means I have the name column, but these name column values, I want to convert it into capital letters. All are in capital letters. Then you have, see here, under the format, there is an uppercase is there. Click on uppercase. Now see here, each and every character is converted into uppercase letters. Okay. If you want lowercase, like this. Suppose, for example, if you want to combine multiple columns into single column, then whichever columns you want to combine, first you need to select those columns. Suppose I want to combine ID and period date. Then after selecting those columns and click on match columns. Okay. See here. Now see, the columns are combined or not? See here, delimiter is not there. So that's the reason you are not able to identify it. See here. So whichever columns I selected, those columns are, values are combined. Previously, like this, it will be there. Okay. ID and period date. Now I combine ID and period into single column. See, this is ID values 1, 2, 3, 4 and colon dash hyphen. This is the date value like this. If you want to combine multiple columns, means many columns. Like this, if you want to do any modifications on this particular data, must and should you need to come to the transform data. There are n number of options out there. Don't worry, this is a workshop, right? But if you are going with a regular class, then each and every point in this transform data, how it will work, and practically I will show you. Okay. So if you want to modification on that particular data means must and should you need to come to the transform. Okay. In the transform data only we can do all the modifications on particular one. This is the third step. Fourth step it is. Okay. Okay. Next one is DAX functions. Okay. Why DAX functions? What is DAX functions? See, what will happen here it is in transform data, whatever options we are using, the same options we can implement DAX. What is a DAX? DAX. What is the full form of DAX? Data analysis expression. Why DAX is used? See, don't worry, DAX functions is not complication. It is a single word functions it is. Those functions, even how to use also, you already know few of the functions names. Okay, let's see. Why we are using DAX function? Because what will happen here it is, users are at the time of running a report based on the user selection in the in Power BI, based on user selection in the visualization, automatically calculation need to be changed. If you want to change like that, must and should you have to use DAX. Okay. So Vijay, can't we do it on transform data option? Yes, we can do it. But those transform data options are static. That means before running of the report, if you want to execute it, then you have to use transform data options. If you want to use at the time of running, that means whenever at the time of running a report, whenever the user is running a report, at that point of time, based on the user selection of the values, automatically calculation need to be done. Though at that point of time, if you want to do like that, must and should we have to use DAX. Those related things. That means at the time of running, whatever calculations are displayed, those we can call it as dynamic calculations. Okay, dynamic calculation. Those dynamic calculation must and should we have to do it in DAX functions only. Understand? So that means what are the, see here, there are different categories of DAX functions are there. Suppose, for example, let's see, I will tell you. In Google, okay, there is a DAX reference Power BI. You have to type like this and click on, see here. When you click on this one, see here, there is a DAX functions are there or not? Click on this one. When you click on this one, see here, there are different categories of functions. That means aggregation functions is there, datetime functions is there, filter functions is there, and financial functions. There are different categories. But in the regular class, each and every function I will explain it. Don't worry. So these DAX functions, how we can implement in Power BI, I will tell you. Because these all these DAX functions are dynamic. Dynamic means at the time of user selection, those all the functions are executed and show the result. Okay. But transform data options are static. That means before running of the report only, you will see the result. Okay. Understand? So that's the reason DAX functions are used. Okay, these DAX functions in three categories, that means in three options, we can apply it in DAX in Power BI desktop. That means whatever DAX functions are there, those DAX functions are categorized into three. Okay, those are some DAX functions are single value return functions. Some are row level calculation functions. Some DAX functions are creating a new data set. Understand? So this DAX functions are, all these DAX functions are categorized into three. Okay. One, that means few of the set of DAX functions are returns a single value. That means if you apply those functions means always it will shows only one value. Understand? So that is one category. Some DAX functions are on row level basis, those calculation. That means row level basis means so each and every row, it is that those functions are generating different values. Okay, let's see practical. I will tell you, don't worry, how we can implement those. And one set of DAX functions are creating a new data set. That means up to now you are creating a data set by selecting the data source and create the data sets in Power BI, right? By selecting data source, you are pulling the data into Power BI. Like this, you are creating a data sets in Power BI. Not only this one, by using DAX functions also we can create a data sets. Okay, so these are the three different categories out there. Okay, so there are three different categories of DAX functions. Though these three categories of function in Power BI desktop, where we can apply means, see here, in this Power BI desktop, if you go to the modeling, you will see three options is there. In these three options only, we can apply the DAX function. That means new measure, new column, and new table. So in these three options only, the DAX functions are applied. Okay. One important point is DAX functions, we cannot apply it in this transform data. Always DAX functions are applied in the model. That means in this modeling, there are three options are there: new measure, new column, and new table. I will show you one example for new measure, one example for new column, and one example for new table. Okay. See here. Suppose you have, like suppose few of the DAX functions are returns a single value, right? Those related DAX functions we can apply it on new measure. That means whichever DAX functions returns a single value, those related DAX functions we can apply it on new measure. Whichever DAX functions returns on row level basis, those related DAX functions we can apply it on new column. Okay, whichever DAX functions returns creating a data set, those related DAX functions we can apply it on new table. Understand clearly or not? Okay, understand clearly or not? So this is the one. See here. Now let's see with example for one new measure, one DAX function, new column related to one new table. So suppose, for example, there are some aggregation functions are there. Like suppose, what are aggregation functions? Sum, min, max. Okay. So average, count. All these are aggregation functions. These aggregation functions are written as a single value. Let's see. Okay, these aggregation functions are returns a single value. If those aggregation functions returns a single value means in which option we can apply new measure, because only whatever DAX functions returns a single value, those we can apply it on new measure. Understand? Click on this one. When you click on new measure, immediately here the formula bar is open. Okay, inside the formula bar only you have to try to write the DAX function. Not only for new measure, even for new column and new table also. When you click on this one, immediately this formula bar will open. Inside the formula bar only you have to write the functions. See here. Suppose average. I'm giving a name, something. Suppose you can give any name first. Any name. Like, okay. After is equal to only you have to write the DAX function. What is the DAX function? Suppose I want to calculate the average. So see here. Okay. Or else I want to calculate sum. That means, see here, SU. I'm typing. See here. SU related what DAX functions are there? All it will appear. See what DAX function I want to apply. Okay, because this some function will return a single value. See here, in some function, even see if you don't know any DAX function, also don't worry. Power BI will teach you how to write the DAX function. Because see here, when you write some, see it is clearly tell you like what is the syntax of that particular function. That means inside the sum function, what you need to pass column name. What type of column name you need to pass? Numeric or decimal related. Okay, don't worry when you are going with a regular class. Okay, so at that point of time I will clearly explain to you how to use these functions. Okay, so see here, just I'm passing the column id column. In this id column, whatever values are there, all the values it will calculate the total and it will give the result. See here, just you need to pass the column name and execute. How to execute? Click on this tick mark, then automatically function is executed. Once the function is executed, so you want to show that particular measure value in the visualization, because in the visualization only we need to show that result, right? So that's the reason. So in the visualization also, there are single value visualizations will be there. Better to take those single value related visuals and keep this measure value, because always measure values will shows only single value. Okay, while at the time of showing the measure values, better to take single value related. What is the single value related visualizations? Card is a single value related. So take that particular visual and you just need to keep this particular measure value into that one. Okay, let's see. See here. So this is the card. Okay, when you just drag and drop this particular measure value into this one. See here. What is that? 40 it is shown. Whether 40 is correct or not, in the table view, you can verify that. See here, like to adding of all these ID column values, whatever result it is, like 15, right? 8 plus 7, 15. 15 plus 15 plus 6, 21. 21 plus 5, 26. 26 plus 4, 30. Okay, 34. 34 plus 3, 37. 37 plus 2, 39. 39 plus 1, 40. That is the result it is showing or not? Like this. Understand please? That means not only these functions, there are n number of DAX functions returns a single value. Those all we can apply it on new measure. You understand, right? New measure related. Okay. So some of functions having like a row level calculations. Those related DAX functions we can apply it on new column. Let's see with example. See here. Suppose I have a table, right? This is the date column. In this date column, from this date column, I want to extract the month numbers. What is that? I want to extract the month numbers. Okay, if see here, that means in each and every cell, there are different months are there. Here 10th month, here 5th month, here 1 month, first month, January month. Okay, here 4th month, here 3rd month, here 2nd month, here 5th month. That means each and every row having different dates are there, different months are there. That means in this date column, I want to extract the month numbers separately. Okay, that means even the months are in each and every cell, there are different month numbers are there. Those need to generate it. So see here, whenever you are applying whatever DAX functions are calculated on row level basis. Row level basis means each row having different values if you want to generate it. Those related DAX functions, you can apply it on new column. What is that? In new column only we can apply. See here, this is the new. Let's see with example. In new column, there are n number of DAX functions are there to generate row level calculation. Those related functions you can. Best example is if you month numbers I want. That means by using this date column, I want to generate only month numbers. So for that one, I have like see first you have to give the name and after is equal to see here you have to call. So from this date column, I want to extract the month numbers. So for that one, you have to use a function called month. In this month function, you just need to pass this date column. Okay. Whenever you are passing this one, okay, what will happen? What is the month function behavior? It is from the date column, it is extracting the month numbers. When you click on this one, what will happen from this date column? What is the month here? See here, 10th month, 5th month, first month, like different row. See here, in each and every row, different values are there. So those related DAX functions, we can apply it on new column. This is the one of the example. Not only this one, there are n number of DAX functions are there on row level basis. This is new column. Next one is new table. New table means I want to create a new data set. Okay. If I want to create a new data set, then you have to, those related DAX functions, we can apply it on new table. Suppose, let's see, when you click on new table, what are the DAX functions are created? There are a number of, one of the function we need to choose, like there is a date table. Okay. Data table function is there. That data table will create the data set in Power BI. See here. Okay. So how you are creating a table normally in any data source, you are giving like first column names and after that values, right? In this data table also we can. Suppose first, for example, I'm giving the first you need to give the column names. After giving column name, in this particular column, what values you need to store? Like numeric values, character values, date values, what values you need to store? That related data type you need to mention. Don't worry, in the regular class, I will tell you what is the data type and everything. Okay. So you have to select that one. So like this and give the different column names and the data. Okay. Mm, there. Okay. And see, this is all these are the syntax of this one. Okay. So don't worry. So these are the columns. Okay. Under the column, You have to, when you want to start giving the values, so like this, you can give a number of columns and number of data. But once the columns part is done, if you want to start giving a values under the columns means you have to put curling braces. Inside the curling braces, each row having again curling braces. Inside that, you need to give the value. If it is a numeric values, directly you can give. If it is a character values inside the double quotes, you have to give like X, Y, Z. Okay. So about comma here. Suppose this is one row. Okay. And like this, how many rows you wanted? Like those many rows. PQR. At last, suppose I want to give the three rows. After the third row, you don't give any comma here and execute. See here. So ID name columns are there for this. These are the values. Understand clearly? Okay. So see here, it will create a new data set. That means creating a new data set means columns, rows, and everything is. This is how using DAX functions. There are n number of DAX functions are there. When you are joining my regular class, then you will understand how all the DAX functions are implemented. Okay. So this is the okay. Next one is like modeling. That means now you are by using transform data or DAX functions, you are preparing the proper data. Proper columns are generated. That means what business is required, those are all the columns using DAX functions and transform data, you are generating those. Okay. Before representing that particular data in the visualization, must and should you need to go to the model. In the model view, you need to provide a proper relationship between the data sets. Why? Why we need to provide? Because if you are not providing a relationship between the data sets, suppose in the visualization, if you are in the visualization, if you are using all the column from one data set, there is no problem there. But in the same visual, you are using different column from different data set. At that point of time, sometimes it will throw an error. Sometimes it is not showing the proper data because there is no relationship between the data sets. Okay, that's the reason the proper data is not showing. Understand what I am saying? In the visualization, if you are showing all the column from one data set, okay, then no need of relationship is not required. But in real time, what will happen in one visualization? You are taking different column from different data sets. At that point of time, in between the data set, must and should relationship is required. If there is no relationship, it will throw an error or okay, or it will throw an error or it will shows improper data into this. So if you want to see the proper values in the visualization, must and should in the model view, relationship is must and should required. How you need to provide a relationship? So if you want to provide a relationship between the data sets means must and should we required one common column. Vijay, what is common column? Common column is nothing but so that means data type must and should be same. Okay, you can choose any type of common column. What is the common column rules? It is data type must and should be same and similar values are required. Similar values means whichever common column you are choosing, those common column data type must and should be same. Data type means and what values you are storing. If it is numeric, character, date, or anything, those we can call it as data type. So you have to choose the same data type and values are similar. That means Here, what values in the first data set common column, what values are there? Similar type of, not all the values are matched. Only few of the values, if it is matching, then only we can consider it as a common column. Suppose you are taking in the first data set, numeric common column. In the second data set, character common column. Is it values are matched? No, that is numeric and this is character. Okay, no values are matched. Always you have to take same data type. That's the reason. ID and here also ID related any column. And after that, in those common column, whether the values are matching related one or is there or not. That means at least few of the values must and should be matched. Suppose 1, 2, 3 is there in the first data set common column. In the second data set, 2, 3, 4 is there. At least few of the values. That means 2, 3 is matching, right? At least if it is few of the values, if it is matching also, we can consider as a common. Then after choosing, if there is no common column between the data set, in this model view, we cannot provide a relationship. We can't provide a relationship between the data set. That means common column must and should required between the data set. Then only you can. So once you have the common column between the data set, how you can provide a relationship? See here, just drag and drop and put it here. Then automatically, see here, and click on save. Okay. Now see here, there is a relationship is enabled. See, there is a thick line. When you see the line between the data set, that it is called as a relationship. Now, if the relationship is enabled, then you can see the proper results in the visualization. So because of this reason only, relationship is required. Okay. If you want to show the proper data in the visualization means in the model view, must and should, we need to provide a relationship. Like that means just a drag and drop. If you want to delete the relationship means right click on this particular line and right click on this particular line and click on delete. See, are you sure want to delete? Yes. If you click on yes, the relationship is deleted like this. Suppose if you want to provide a relationship again means just drag and drop. Okay. Understand? So this is how you can use the modeling prompt. Understand? Data modeling means that providing a relationship between the data set for the unit. Next one is visualization. This is the last concept. What is visualization? That means what? So now by using transform data and by using DAX functions, by using model, you are preparing a proper data with that means we are ready to represent our data in the visual, in the pictorial format. For that, we have to use visualization. See here, what are the visualizations are there? See here, there are different types of visualizations. See here, see, these are all stacked bar. These are all bar charts. This one, this one, this one. Okay, these are all bar related. These are all column chart. This one, this one, this one. All these are column chart. Okay. So whatever visualizations you are seeing here, these visuals we can call. Not only for me, even if you open your Power BI desktop, you will see some visualization. These visualizations we can call it as default visualization. What is that? Default visualization. See here, if you take this particular visualization, see once you take this one and you see the template of the visualization. In this visualization, you just need to put the columns into this one. Suppose, for example, okay, country wise, I want to see discounts. See, only one country is there, not country. See here, the visualization. See, simply we just need to drag and drop the column, the visualization system like this. So see here. So all this one, like whatever cities are there, those all the cities it is showing in a horizontal manner. Okay. So if you maximize this one, focus more. See here, New York City, these are the one. Okay. For New York City, what is the discount? Total discount is 2.59. If it is Los Angeles, 2.30. Okay. Seattle, okay, and 0.98. Boston, okay, 0.91. Like that, there are different, whatever columns we are showing here, with that columns in the data I show. That's it. Simply we create the visual. Okay. Like this, whichever visual. That means how the users are expecting, based on that you need to create the visualization. Don't create your own visualization, because the client want to see in this format those related, whichever it is suitable. Okay, those related visualizations only you have to use. Don't use your own vision. Okay, don't worry, Vijay, I have a doubt here. What with the business users data, what type of visualizations I need to create? Means don't worry, they will tell you, like, this is what I'm expecting. Like month wise I want to see the discount. So that month related column is there, or no? That sales related column is there, or no? That you need to drag and drop, so then you can see like that. Understand clearly, no? Suppose there are pie chart is there, or do not chart is there. Suppose see here in this one, mm, region, okay, region wise sales. See here, okay, this is the region, okay, east region. See here, when you mouse over this is what, this is the south region. For south region, this is the sales. Okay. For this one, what is this one? Like east region. For east region, what is the sales? These are the sales. Like that. See how they are expecting, based on that you need to analyze these visualizations and just represent the data like this. So these are the different types of visualizations, like line chart visuals are there. If you want to see the trend, that means last year how much, current year how much, they want to see like that. Then you have to use line chart. Understand? Okay. Suppose you want to see both line and graphs, then you have to use this visualization. Line and stacked column chart. See here. Suppose, for example, I'm taking this one. See here. Line as well as graph like this. Okay. So they will tell you, business users will tell you what you need to represent, what type of columns you need to represent in the visual, how they want to see. They will tell you, based on that you need to create the visualization. Understand clearly? Like this. See, not only this one, there are different visualizations are there, like a pie chart and even slicer, filtering the values. Suppose, for example, if I'm taking this visual, what you can do in this visual, you just need to filter the values. Suppose, for example, I'm selecting this. Okay, that means you will see all the cities. Which city you are want to see here? When I'm selecting any particular city here, then other visuals also that related city values only it is showing. See here. Okay, if I'm selecting AGO one, okay, AGO one related one city related data only in other visual cities. That means what is the visual? What is the purpose of this visual? Means if you want to filter the column values, then for that you have filtering means selecting. If you want to select any particular column values, then this visual is used. Very important visual. Okay. Suppose, for example, if you want to show the visual, that means I want to see the table in a table format. I want to see the data for different columns. Then you have to select this table visual, and inside this one, what columns are required, you have to select that one. Suppose, for example, okay, and product like this. See here, in a table format, what whichever columns you are drag and drop into this table visual, Those all in a table format, it will shows like this. Understand clearly enough? This is how the visualizations are written. Okay. Not only this one, there are some custom visuals are also available. What is that? Whatever visuals you are seeing, these are the default visual. That means whoever is opening Power BI, immediately each and every one they can see these visualizations. These visualizations we can call it as default visualization. Understand or not? So now if I want to see like some custom visual, that means see when compared to these visuals, some custom visuals are more popular. Okay. So if you want to get those custom visuals and use it means, see, click on three dot button, there is a get more visuals option is there. In this get more visuals option, it is asking email ID and everything. So you have like a, don't worry, they will provide some details. Okay. Okay. They are providing email ID and everything. Those email IDs you have to use it. Okay. Once you give the proper details, it will go to the market store. Here, see here, there are different custom. These are all the custom features. Suppose, for example, so I want this custom visual. So select any custom visual. Is all these custom visuals are completely free using. You just need to click on that custom visual and click on load. So there is a load option. Okay. When you click on when you click on sorry add option, when you click on add option, this particular custom visual is loaded into your Power BI desktop. One second, it is not added. See here. See, whenever this message is appeared, so that means it's custom. So what is this use of custom visual means? This is also similar like a do not chart only. But what is the features are available in this one? When compared to default do not chart is different, custom visual do not chart. See here, I want to see the city wise as well as mm, mm, region wise and in the values sales. See here, like this. Suppose if you click on this one, see here how the beauty of this one. If you click on this particular, what is the first one? City, right? All the cities are there. If you click on the city, this city, next table you will see the region. That means this is the region. What is this region? West region. In West region, what is this? How much sales it is? This is the one. Suppose if you click on, if you want to go back to the first level, see here, click on this one. Understand? That is the beauty of the custom visuals. So they're so very much attractive, all the custom visuals is. When compared to the default visuals, custom visuals are very much attractive because everyone will like them, because they in different way they are representing in the visual. Okay. So when you are using this one, see, click on this one, it will come to this one. And if you come to first level, see here, others related one. If you want to see others related one, then these are the details. Understand clearly or not? This is how the custom, not only this one, there are a number of custom visuals are there. Whenever we are going with a regular class, all these custom visuals, how it is used, how it will affect it in the report, I will show you. Understand clearly or not? Okay, so these are the points. So this is how we can create a report. By using this one, You can create a report like this, whichever how the business users are expecting. Okay, in that format only you can represent in the visual. Once you take whatever visuals are required, the Power BI report is created like this. Understand that? That means multiple pages related to all the visuals, or we can call it as a report. Okay. So the like this we can create the reports. So once the report is creation part is done, then we have to share that particular report to the different people. For that one, you have to move your Power BI desktop to Power BI service. What is that? And everything in the next workshop it will be there. Okay, not only this one, how you can refresh the data in Power BI service, how you can create a dashboard in Power BI service. I will tell you all these things in the next workshop. Understand? Next workshop, next week it is there. Okay, that we can. So these are the points. So Power BI desktop related all the points we covered. These related things in detail wise when you are going with a regular class. Okay, we can discuss all these things. Okay, next week my new batch is started. Okay, that means next week means next week Thursday, I think so. Okay, new batch is started at 10:30 a.m. IST. Okay, if anyone wanted to interested to join, you guys can join. Okay, so anyone having any doubts or anything? Anyone? Anyone having any doubts? Anyone having any doubts? Okay, so we can stop it here. We'll continue. So Shubham, new batch, it will be started like 4th, not 4th, 6th of June. 6th of June. 6th of June. That means next Thursday, coming Thursday. Okay. 10:30 a.m. new batch is started. Okay. If anyone wanted to interested to join, please join. Okay. I don't know about this course fees and everything, Shubham. Please check with the NareshIT team. Okay. And one more important point is like I will prepare my own document. That document also I will share it to the Naresh IT team. This workshop related document also I prepared. That related document I will share to the Naresh IT team. You can check with him. And this today's workshop recording also it is available in the YouTube or somewhere. Okay. Check with Naresh IT team. They will tell you all. Okay. My new batch is started in on 6th of June. Okay. So if anyone wanted to interest join, you can join at 10:30 a.m. Okay. So fees related all the things you need to check with the manager. Sure. Okay. So we can stop it here. We'll continue in the next workshop. Next workshop is next Saturday. It will be there. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.